What's up, y'all? Welcome back to MSM Audio. I'm Tim. Thank y'all for tuning in. Today, I want to discuss a few simple shortcuts for FabFilter Pro-Q3 to help improve your workflow, move things along. Now, I've been using Pro-Q3 for a while now, and I thought I had a good intuitive feel for the plugin, learning different features, but the shortcuts just help to move things along faster, makes for a cleaner working experience. So I want to start with the zoom function. Even if I was in full screen right now, I could zoom in even further for more precise cutting and boosting. Let's say I wanted to zoom in at 2K. You just click, drag upward, zooms all the way in for more detailed edits, and you can click, drag down to zoom out, or you can just double click along the frequency line and it'll automatically zoom back out. Now, for creating dynamic bands, where you can double click, hit the drop down menu, make dynamic, go to the gain button, use your mouse wheel on the gray area to adjust your range. You can just press Alt, double click, automatically creates a dynamic band. Use your mouse wheel to adjust your dynamic range. Now, depending on where you click on the background, you can automatically create different curves at the top of the screen. If you double click, create a bell curve, or you can press Control and click. For a notch curve, go to the bottom, double click, or Control and click. Right? For a low cut, far right, double click, or Control and click. High cut, same thing, far right, double click, or Control and click. If you need a shelving filter, far right, click on the yellow line, boost or cut. You get a shelving filter. Same thing on the far left, click, boost or cut, and you get a shelving filter. Now, let me create a few bands here. All right. And just for selecting different bands, you can select your first band, hit Control, and you can select or deselect different bands from multiple editing, or you can select your starting band, hit Shift to select a range, or you can simply draw a triangle to select all of the bands at the same time. Obviously, you can click and drag to adjust your frequency and your gain. You can hover your mouse over the curve and use your mouse wheel to adjust the Q. And you can hold Control and then click and drag to adjust the Q and the frequency while the gain remains in place. You can hold Alt and use your mouse wheel to adjust the dynamic range of your edit points. Okay. What else we have here? If you want to adjust both the gain and the dynamic range, hold Control and Alt, and then you'll see both of those parameters being impacted as you hold Control and Alt. Now you can hold Shift for fine-tune editing. So if you want to adjust your gain or your frequency, you see the adjustments being made very carefully. And again, hold Shift and hover your mouse over the curve. Use your mouse wheel, and the slope adjusts very slowly as opposed to being very free without holding Shift. Now, if you want to constrain horizontal movement while you're making changes, you hold Alt, right? And you can adjust your gain without any frequency changes. You can also hold Control to constrain your vertical movement, and you can adjust your Q and your frequency range while your gain remains in place. Now, this floating menu here, it can be distracting, right? It's very useful, though. You can solo out your bands, bypass, you have your different curves, right? You have the drop-down menu, but you can go to this help menu, deselect Show EQ Parameter Display. So you get a cleaner experience, and now you can use your shortcuts to continue working. So you can hold Alt to bypass your bands. Also, you can do, let's see what else. You can use Control and Alt to change the shape, right? And then you can use Alt and Shift to change the slope. Right, so you can get that menu out the way for a more cleaner experience and use your shortcuts to keep things moving. What else do we have here? Now, this help menu, right? We already have the EQ parameter display deselected. Now, sometimes you may just have your mouse just hovering. Those hint windows pop up. You can deselect show interactive help hints, get those out the way. If you're using the piano display, you see these frequency window hovering there. You can deselect show frequency on hover. That doesn't really bother me, but you have the option to deselect it. And then you also have the auto adjust display range where, if you click and drag up and down, right, it automatically adjusts. So you can deselect that and choose your display range, right, and just kind of keep it in that space. There's no adjustment that happens. I think that's the last one. So those were a few quick, simple shortcuts for FabFilter to improve your workflow, make it faster, provide for a cleaner working experience. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stay positive, stay purposeful, stay creative, stay confident. Most of all, keep going. See you on the next one. MSM Audio.